everyone, today we'll discuss part 16 of the NEET PG important questions, and our today's topic is the spinal cord. So first try to answer the questions by yourself. Spinal cord develops from which part of the neural tube? From the distal part of the neural tube. Diameter of the spinal cord is minimum at which region? At the thoracic region. Length of the spinal cord is about 42 to 45 centimeter long. Spinal cord starts at which vertebral level? At the cervical number 1 or the C1 vertebral level. Lower border of the spinal cord terminates at the L1 or the lumbar vertebral level 1. Cervical enlargement extends from C4 to T2 spinal cord segment. Lumbar enlargement extends from L1 to S3 spinal cord segment. What is the weight of the spinal cord? It is about approx 30 grams. Conus medullaris lies at the L1 vertebral level. Extension of the filum terminale. So, it extends from the tip of the conus medullaris to the dorsum of the first coccyx vertebra. Filum terminale is made up of which matter? Of the pia matter, and they are bluish in color. Filum terminale is surrounded by dura mater and arachnoid matter till which vertebral level? S2. Till S2 vertebral level. So don't get confused over here. Filum terminale is made up of pia mater. Okay, it is made up of pia mater, while this filum terminale is surrounded by dura mater and arachnoid matter. Okay, this doesn't make the filum terminale, they just surround the filum terminale, while the filum terminale is made up of pia mater, okay, and surrounded by the dura mater and the arachnoid matter. So there is a difference between these two. Anteromedian fissure of the spinal cord lodges what? It lodges the anterior spinal artery. Anteromedian fissure of the spinal cord reaches up to gray commissure. How many cervical spinal nerves are there? There are 8 cervical spinal nerves. Gray matter of the spinal cord consists of which neurons? It consists of motor, sensory and the interneurons. White matter is maximum in cervical part of the spinal cord. At birth, spinal cord extends up to which vertebral level? Up to lower border of the L3. Anterior gray column of the spinal cord consists of which cells? It consists of cell body of the alpha neuron, cell body of the gamma neuron and the Renshaw cells. Now what are Renshaw cells? Renshaw cells are actually interneurons. Lateral gray column in the spinal cord contains which neurons? It contains preganglionic autonomic motor neurons. Later gray column in the spinal cord is seen at which vertebral level? At the T1 to L2 and S2 to S4. Function of the lateral gray column in the spinal cord is to regulate the smooth muscles and the glandular and the cardiac activities. Medial group of nuclei in the anterior gray column are seen throughout the length of the spinal cord. Central group of the nuclei in the anterior gray column are seen in the cervical and the lumbosacral region of the spinal cord. Lateral group of nuclei in the anterior gray column are seen at the cervical and the lumbar enlargement of the spinal cord. So remember, the medial group of nuclei in the anterior gray column are seen throughout the length. Central group at the cervical and the lumbosacral region of the spinal cord, and the lateral group at the cervical and the lumbar enlargement of the spinal cord. Central group of the nuclei includes which nuclei? They include the phrenic, spinal accessory and the lumbosacral nuclei. Spinal accessory nucleus of the spinal cord are present in which part of the spinal segment? They are present at the cervical part, that means from C1 to C6. Okay. Lumbosacral nuclei of the spinal cord are present in which part of the spinal segment? They are present at the lumbosacral part from L2 to S1. Ventrolateral nucleus of the lateral group of the nuclei in the cervical enlargement supplies which structures? Shoulder and the arm muscles. Dorsolateral nucleus of the lateral group of the nuclei in the cervical enlargement supplies which structures? Supplies the forearm muscle. Retrodorsal nucleus of the lateral group of the nuclei in the cervical enlargement supplies which structures? Hand muscles. Ventrolateral nucleus of the lateral group of the nuclei in the lumbar enlargement supplies which structures? Hip and the thigh muscle. Dorsal lateral nucleus of the lateral group of the nuclei in the lumbar enlargement supplies which structures? Supplies the leg muscle. Retrodorsal nucleus of the lateral group of nuclei in the lumbar enlargement supplies which structures? The foot muscles. Substantia gelatinosa consists of what? Consists of interneurons and they modify the sensory impulses. Where is substantia gelatinosa present? They are present near the apex of the posterior gray column in the whole length of the spinal cord. Substantia gelatinosa continues above as nucleus of the spinal tract of the trigeminal nerve. Each of the lamina in the spinal cord occupies what? Occupies 1 to 6 occupies the dorsal gray horn, 7 occupies the intermediate gray matter, 8, 9 occupies the ventral gray horn and the 10th occupies the gray matter around the central canal. The posterior thoracic nucleus or the dorsal nucleus or the Clark's column, all these three are the same things. Okay. Now they basically extends from C8 to L4. Clark's column is present at the base of the posterior gray column. Clark's column receives proprioceptive impulses from neuromuscular spindles and tendon end organs. Clark's column corresponds to which lamina? 5 and 6. Clark's column gives origin to which tracts? Dorsal spinocerebellar tract. Nucleus proprius gives origin to the ventral spinothalamic tract. Nucleus proprius correspond to which lamina? 3 and 4. Where is nucleus proprius present? Present in the entire length. So today up till here, we will discuss about the further important notes and MCQs of further important topics in our next video. Thank you so much.